Hey, what's up? On this episode, I'll be showing you how to use your new 2021 LG washing machine. So this is a bit of a demo on how to use it and the wash cycles that you can select with it, the many options that you can do with this fantastic washing machine. Now, you might look at this and see that yours is a bit different to this washing machine, but do not be alarmed because they use the same principle, the same controls. So most of this stuff will cross over. I've got a bit of information for you that you can use on yours as well. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do obviously is turn it on and off. So to power it up, you're going to use the power button, which is just there on your left. And then moving in a bit closer, we're going to see the options that we have for controlling the washing machine itself. So you control this washing machine by using this dial. So when you turn it on, there's nothing selected here, and then the LEDs are not showing anything there. So you've got cycles there that you can use for different wash fabrics that you have. So the first one you'd have is the cottons, which will come on. And the first thing you're going to notice is that it's not showing any time over here. That's because it does what's called load detection. So I'm going to press start. Forgot to close the door. When I'm going to press start, it's going to detect how much is in the washing machine. So if you just have a look in the drum there, it's going to start spinning the drum. And that way it's going to detect how much you've put in there. And then it'll tell you how much time that cycle is going to take. So it'll take a few seconds to go around and around, detecting how much weight is in there, and then it will determine a time that it needs to do that wash. So as you can see, that one it's already say that it's going to take about 57 minutes for that cycle. So whenever you select a cycle with these, they have preset settings that they have. They have preset settings to optimize for every piece of fabric you have. So for example, this cottons one is a cottons wash. And then if you just look down here where it's writing all the options, it's got a wash option. It's going to be a medium wash, and it's going to do 2 rinse cycles, and it's going to have an extra high spin, and then it's got to have a high temperature spin speed. Most of these now are touch button controlled, and then you can adjust, like if you want it for have a more of a hot wash, you can do that. Or if you want more of a rinse cycles, you can put more rinse cycles in there. Or the spin, if you want it extra high, medium or low. It's not no longer an RPM, but now it's just extra high, medium, low, extra low. Ideally, you don't have to play around with all these options, as LG has already optimized for you every piece of fabric you have. So say if you were doing things like, if you want to do things like a duvet. So a duvet is usually very heavy. So it's going to do a cold wash, and the spin speed is going to be medium. Which you need to do with washing machines, the heavier the load, the lower the spin speed. And when it comes to, it's going to be like a medium wash. So for every piece of fabric you have, they've optimized the temperature and the spin speed so that you don't have to worry about that. And all other options you have, like you've got like a speed wash as well, a silent wash. This is normally for if you come home late, or if your laundry is close to the kitchen or sleeping quarters, then it won't make noise for you when it's spinning because it's going to put it on a low spin. Handy to have on your washing machine. Moving ahead, you've got duck wash, which is like a low temperature and a low spin speed so that the color doesn't come out of your clothes. So that will be handy for new clothes that you've bought, or jeans or stuff like that, that runs a lot of color. That will be good to use on there. Then something really special here, you'll see it says download cycle just over here. So download cycle is part of LG's SmartThinQ app. So you can download an app. I'm sure you can see a Wi-Fi signal there, a Wi-Fi symbol there. You can actually download custom wash loads that don't already come on here. So if you want, say, like a very quick wash, or say you just want like a soak and wash cycle, you can actually just download that straight onto the washing machine, so that every time you come here, you don't have to play around with things like the temperature, the spin speed. you can just straight away go download cycle, and then it will just run that cycle straight away. This is pretty awesome, pretty handy. If you want to have a look at how you can control this washing machine using Wi-Fi, just head on over on the playlist. I do have a demo of how to connect it to the internet and download cycles. Pretty fascinating stuff, pretty cool stuff. So check that out. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, as I do post a lot of these videos on how to use these washing machines, and later on down the line, you never know what will go wrong with it. So I do have a lot of fixes for these, so it'll be handy to have me in your inbox. And gently smash that like button. It goes a long way to help this channel. So thanks for checking this video out. Continuing on, we've got different options here. You'll see the one that I really want you to pay attention to is the delay end option, which is pretty cool, because that one, say if you're going out or you're going to work, obviously you don't want your clothes staying in there all day, and before you know it, they've finished washing and they're just sitting and they'll crease. So what we want to do is we want to put the clothes in, put the washing powder, and then set a time delay. So if you know you're going to work for about, say, 10 hours or 7 hours, you can just set the time delay. So I'll set it to start washing in 6 hours. So that just as you're walking in, it's just finishing washing. Or you can set it to start washing early in the morning, just before you wake up. It's pretty quiet, so that by the time you finish having your breakfast, it's just finished washing, and you can put the clothes straight out of the washing machine onto the dryer or onto the clothesline, which is pretty cool that you can do that as well. Then remote start is for if you want to really control it using Wi-Fi. So you can turn it cycle on to start and control various functions by using that remote start function. Another cool function that they have is the add item function. So say I'm doing a cycle and I forgotten an item. It's a lot of times we put some wash in the washing machine and then you forgot to add that sock or that little jumper. Do not fret, do not worry, because then you can also add clothes in there once the wash cycle has started. So to do that, all you need to do is press the add item button, and then it'll actually allow you to open the button even though the cycle has opened already. Now, just note that even though this is conditional on the drum not having a lot of water in it. So if it's already has a lot of water in there, obviously it's not going to open the door. Otherwise, a whole lot of water is going to gush out, and that will be a big messy cleanup. So you want to avoid that, and the washing machine wants to avoid that as well. Moving on, another thing that you can do, you can also set your favorite cycle. So say you usually like to do like cottons wash, and you like to do it on a like 60-degree wash. So you're setting all your favorite wash settings. You can actually set it to save on the washing machine. So if you press and hold the favorites, it's going to save it onto the washing machine, so that next time you come to turn on the washing machine, you don't have to play around with this dial and all the other things. You can go straight on to your favorite cycle and it's going to select that, and you can just press start straight away. Another cool thing that you can do with this is smart diagnosis. So if there's something wrong with the washing machine, you can actually find out what's going on by using the smart diagnosis function, but hopefully there's nothing much that goes wrong with your washing machine. Then in terms of wash capacity, so I don't know what yours says. It might say, I don't know, 9 cubic feet, or I don't know, like 13 kgs, whatever it says to you. The general thing with washing machines is it's more about the volume than it is about the weight. And a lot of people tend to overload these because they put in too much, and sometimes people don't put in too little, and then the washing machine will give you an unbalanced error. So if you overload it, it might work for a few years, a few months, but eventually you break this thing at the back called the spider. But if you wash it right and load it right, it will take care of you. So 13 kgs is for this machine, it's a 13 kg one. So that 13 kg refers to wet weight and not dry weight. So unless you've got a scale in your bathroom and you're putting the clothes you wetting the clothes and putting them on the scale and saying, oh, it's not 13 kgs yet. That will not work. So in order for you to really get it right, I'd say you load up the clothes until about halfway up the door, and that will be enough. That will be your maximum load capacity, and that way it will wash nicely and it will have enough space for the clothes to turn around. Because a lot of people start washing and then they think it hasn't washed properly, so the first thing that they do is they want to add more washing powder or more washing liquid, which doesn't help the washing machine at all. Makes the problem even worse as the soap is foaming too much. So about halfway up the door is good, because all these paddles, so it's got 3 paddles in it, 1, 2, 3. So those need to be in constant contact with your clothes so that it washes properly. And then it's got these little grooves inside. So just imagine, think of it like when you're doing hand wash. You don't take a whole bunch of clothes and try to wash them all at once. You do them bit by bit. And it's the same thing with your washing machine. Now, I know a lot of you are worried about energy wise. You want to put it in one big load so you can save a lot on electricity. I'd say if you want to save on electricity, load it up properly halfway up the door, then use the delay and function that I talked about earlier. Call your energy provider and ask them what time is off peak for your area. And then that way you're washing in the off peak time and you'll save yourself a couple of bucks and you'll save your washing machine as well. The other thing you want to do with this washer is you do not want to wash blankets in these washing machines. I repeat, do not wash blankets in these washers. Any front load or top load washing machines, they are not made for that. Those you can wash at the laundromat. You can wash covers and sheets in there, they'll be all right. No rugs, no pillows, no blankets, no doonas, because they're just too heavy. You might get away with it a couple of times, but as the years go by, it's gonna just give up because you're putting a lot of stress on the bearings in the washing machine. So just take a note of that. And obviously you want to make sure that you're checking your pockets before you put anything in there, otherwise the coins are going to spin very fast in the washing machine and will put a hole in the washer. The other thing you want to watch for is the seal. Make sure you do the zip all the way up whenever you're washing anything with the zip on it. Otherwise it's going to get stuck and then this will tear and then it'll start leaking. So make sure you check your pockets and you zip up the zips when you do your washing. Then when it comes to washing powder or liquid, we've got our soap drawer, our detergent drawer. So what you want to do when you're putting the washing powder or liquid, you've got this bit is where you got your main wash. So if you look close enough, there'll be inscriptions on there that will tell you what's for what. And usually with LG, when it says 1, that's pre-wash. So if you're washing things like towels or white sheets, things that you want to soak and make them really clean and white, you can put the pre-wash in there. Just remember to add some pre-wash liquid or powder or bleach and select the pre-wash option on the washing machine. Then when it comes to your main wash, you've got to put it in there where it says 2. You only need to put in half a scoop or half a cap. I cannot stress it enough because a lot of people tend to overload this and then it'll start sudding and then it'll just remain in the washing machine, and before you know it, it'll be just clogged up and foaming too much. Then in here, the blue bit, that's where you put your fabric softener. So usually the fabric softener one has this little logo of a little almost like a half cut orange that you'll see on most washing machines and certainly on the LGs. So make sure you put it in the right compartment and then your washing machine will clean properly. And then just make sure when you install your washing machine, wherever you get it, that it's nicely balanced, that it's not rocking from side to side. Otherwise, it's going to be out of balance and create problems. So that's about it. If you guys have any questions or if you're not sure about the model that you have or the model that you want to get, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below and I will get back to you and I'll try to help you as much as I can. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, cheers.